here are the 4 key factors that I used to be able to work 12 hours a day. And so here is the system of productivity that you can use to replicate that, or even just be able to increase your productivity a tiny bit. Because truly, you don't have to work 12 hours a day every day. You probably shouldn't work 12 hours a day every day, but you can use these to increase your productivity even just that much to, help yourself achieve your goals. And so without further ado, let's take a look at the first thing that I used and one of the most important things from my system of productivity. And the number one thing is realizing that when you're about to do anything, starting the beginning, the first step is always the hardest. So if you imagine, for example, a stairwell, and of course in a stairwell you have an elevator and the stairs. And choosing the stairs over the elevator, when you're making that decision, the first stair, even though it's equal in height to every other step on the stairwell, the first step is still the hardest because that is where you choose the stairs over the elevator. And in the same way, when you start working, the first thing is the hardest. And I think everyone can relate to this. We can remember back then, always getting started is the hardest part. And so when you want to be productive, you have to make the first step as easy as possible. And that's how you can get the ball rolling. Because once you get the ball rolling, it's easy to continue. It's easy to kind of get in that flow state and then just continue doing what you're doing, continue working. But the first step is the hardest. And so some key things that you can do to make the first step and starting as easy as possible, first of all, it's do something even harder than starting that thing. So if you want to clean the house, there's something that's even harder than that, and something that you want to do even less than cleaning the house, then if you try to do that, then all of a sudden you will start cleaning the house because it's easier, and you will usually choose the easier option. And so when you try to do something harder than what you want to do and what you need to do, then you will start doing what you want to do and what you need to do because it's easier than the alternative. And another thing is just making the first step as small as possible. So for example, let's look at if you want to go to the gym. So maybe don't set the goal as go to the gym and hit the full workout. Maybe they set the goal as, put on your workout clothes. And after you put on your workout clothes, you're allowed to do whatever you want. But the moment you put on your workout clothes, you've done the first step. And all of a sudden you're like, I might as well just go to the gym. I already did the first step, so I might as well go all the way. And that's how you can go and do things that you don't want and make the beginning as easy as possible. The second thing that you absolutely have to pay attention to is eliminating all distractions. Because now that you've gotten the ball rolling, the only thing that can stop you is distractions. And so you should try to eliminate distractions as often and as much as possible. So for example, turn your phone off. Yes, all notifications off, everything off. Don't let other things distract you. And all of a sudden it's easier to work. If you're able to change the environment that you work in from an environment with a lot of distractions to an environment with no distractions, it's easier to stay focused. And a great tip that you can use is to just wake up earlier. Literally. If you wake up early, then no one is gonna text you to, hey, let's go eat. Hey, let's go hang out. Let's go do this. Let's go do that. Because everyone else will be sleeping. And so if you just wake up early, it allows you this time where no one will distract you. No one will send you messages. No one will call you. No one will do anything like that. And it's just you and the work. And when it's just you and the work, or you and the gym, or you and whatever, then it's a lot easier to do it. And I think everyone knows this. You know, when it's late in the evening and you're getting invites to all these places, it's a lot harder to study. But in the morning, it's a lot easier because everyone else is studying or working or sleeping. And so that's an amazing tip that you can take from my system of productivity, and simply you're gonna do a lot more. And so try to make it as hard as possible for you to not do the correct thing. So you can apply this to almost anything. Let's say you're eating a diet. Well, it's a lot harder to cheat on a diet if you don't have any cheat food in your house, because the barrier to cheating would mean that you have to walk or drive to the store and get the cheat food. But if you have the cheat food in your house, you can just grab it and eat it. And so once again, when you add these extra barriers in the way, it's always mentally a lot harder to cheat on yourself, whether it be in your diet or on your exercise program or working or studying or whatever. And so try your very best to just make it as hard as possible for you to cheat yourself and to not do the correct thing. And the third thing that you absolutely have to do is don't multitask. That's the worst thing that you can do. Let me tell you that this is one simple rule that I always use. You do what you're doing till it's finished, and only then can you start the next thing. And you might be thinking, but it takes 4 hours to finish this, school task that I have, and I can't start anything else before I've finished it. I can't start working on that other task or go to the gym or anything. And yes, the next 4 hours I guess you're gonna use on that then. Or you could just be so ultra productive, do it in 2 hours, and then you can start doing something else. But once you do something, you do it. You don't start something and then not finish. And so you're absolutely supposed to segment your day into certain sections. And this means that, before the night before, you could literally go through the next day. Okay, I'll wake up at, 7 o'clock. Then I got 30 minutes, I'm gonna shower, I'm gonna eat a bit, and then I'm gonna start, working. Let's say, let's go through one of my days, for example. We could, let's clip the video. Okay, then let's record the video. Then let's, edit the video. Then the next step is to focus on my studies. The next 2 hours we focus on the studies. I studied, I do some tasks that I have for my studies. Then we go to the gym. Then we do this, then we do that. And you segment your day. And before you have finished one of those segments completely and done the things that you were supposed to do and that you planned to do, you're not allowed to start the next segment. And sometimes, and usually even often, you realize that a lot of things don't take as much time as you think when you actually focus yourself on them and you actually give it your all. Like a lot of the times I'm like, oh man, it's gonna take 2 hours to finish that task that I have on my studies, that test or that task. And then when I actually go and do it and I'm not allowed to do anything else, it's like then I just focus on it and then I work on it and then I realize that after 30 minutes I'm finished. So usually things aren't as hard as you think they are if you just actually focus. But so many people try to do too many things at once and they don't fully focus on that one thing, and because they don't do that, then surprise, surprise, they're not as productive with their time, and then they think that it's gonna take 4 hours, when in reality it would just take 1 hour or 45 minutes of actual focus. But when you're every 2 minutes checking your notifications on your phone, and then you're scrolling a bit of social media, and then you decide to turn on a video and watch that, and then you decide that, I'm gonna actually, write a bit of the English essay as well as I'm gonna, do my programming work, and then you kind of switch between them, and then you're not really focused on either one, then of course it's gonna take 4 hours. So have clear segments of the day for clear tasks and only do one task at a time. Don't even try to multitask. I think every study in the history of humanity has proved that multitasking doesn't work. It just doesn't. Everyone who believes that it does has always been proved wrong once they've actually been in a controlled environment where they're actually supposed to do it. So don't try to multitask, have clear segments, and that's how you stay focused, and that's how you get shit done. And the fourth and final thing that you absolutely have to do if you want to be able to work, 12-hour days, and when I say work, it means, like going to the gym, studying, learning new skills, researching, and then of course actually working, all of these things. If you want to be productive for an extended period of time, for example the 12 hours, then you absolutely have to focus on the next thing, which is sleep well, eat right, and exercise. The first thing that people sacrifice is sleep, even though it should be the last thing that you sacrifice. Because when you haven't slept well, your mental capabilities and your physical capabilities are significantly hindered. And of course that's going to impact your productivity. That's going to impact your focus, your energy levels, your overall health and well-being. And that's the thing that people sacrifice. Or, I'll just sleep 4 hours the next night. Why? How about you sleep 8 hours and you cut out the movies, you cut out the crap. And you know what? You'll feel a lot better, you'll get a lot more done, and you will feel energized. You won't have those days where you're just feeling bad and you don't feel like doing anything and you're constantly tired. And of course, eating well. When you give yourself the good nutrition, funnily enough, you'll feel good. When you exercise, do these things that the human body is supposed to do, funnily enough, you'll be healthy and feel good. And so once you have like the basics of healthiness down, you'll be a lot more productive. I mean, why do you think that some of the most productive people on planet Earth are also some of the people who are in the best shape, who eat the best, who, sleep well? Like, have you actually ever heard of a person who's like, you know what, I sleep 4 hours every night and I do it for years and I've been able to stay productive? Like, sure, some people claim that, but do they actually do it? Have you actually seen anyone do it? Or are all of your friends who sleep only 4 hours also the ones who skip their studies, who don't, hit the deadlines, who can't do anything except the bare minimum, and all the friends who sleep 8 hours, 9 hours, and so on are the ones who get shit done? Think about it. Just look at your own experiences, your own life. And so it's absolutely necessary that you take care of your own health by sleeping well and eating right and all the basics, because that truly builds the body that is capable of working hard and staying focused and having energy. That's literally the number one most important thing, is to actually be healthy. Because when you're healthy, it's easy to be energetic, it's easy to work hard, it's easy to be in the mood because everything is in check. And so value your sleep, value your health, and you know what? You will thank yourself. And so with those 4 things, you're absolutely capable of working 12 hours a day. And those 4 things is what allowed me to work 12 hours a day. And so if you wish to work 12 hours a day, now of course you don't have to work 12 hours a day every day. I don't work 12 hours a day every day. But when you have the capability to do it, you're a lot more confident, because you know that if you need to get shit done, you can get shit done. And so use this to at least help yourself stay a bit more productive. And as always, stay disciplined, chase your dreams, and have a fantastic day.